Thank you very much. So, it's funny you should say, do we have a list? Up here on this table is a list. It's called the street card. It's put out by the City of Chilliwack, Resources and Services, City of Chilliwack. So if you want to know where Cyrus Center is, or how to call them, or any service that might be of use to our homeless neighbors, that's what this is. They're up there, grab them before you leave. Also up there is a kind of a business card. We're still so new, I'm still waiting for business cards to be made. It's got my email on it if you want to email me for any reason about housing hub stuff or just any questions you have. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a little panel discussion. And all that means is that these folks are going to bring their chairs up here, turn around, and if you want to ask them some questions, if you had a question, ask away. Questions related to what they do, maybe what the organization does. If you want clarification on anything that they said, this is a great time to ask that question. I do want to make two things really clear. One, we are not asking business owners and businesses to become social workers or social organizations. We understand you have a business to run, you need to work hard, you need to generate profits, you need to survive. If at any point here you're saying, whoa, they're asking me to basically be a social worker and hand out free stuff, and no, that's not what we're trying to say. We're encouraging something simple, like the name thing. That's a great thing. Just something simple that works for you. If you've taken a ton away from this and you want to use it all, great, but we're not asking anyone to turn their business into a social organization. That being said, the opposite is also true. These four amazing people aren't going to be able to answer phone calls to show up at your business and connect with people that are in your front door. They have very, very busy jobs and don't get paid enough for what they already do and already work longer hours than they probably should. So it kind of goes both ways. And there are other services in the community that kind of help us in those things, which Kyle and we'll talk about in a bit. So why don't we have you for, I don't know, the mic's here, right? Is there a way to?
No.
No? Okay. So you'll just have to be good at reading the video, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so why don't we have you four kind of just turn around, and if you have a question, just put your hand up, and I'll be kind of facilitating this. So, I don't know, do we want to just stand and answer? What do you want to do? Just stand? Yeah? Okay, sure. Okay, I'm supposed to say you're standing. That's what I'm facilitating right now. And maybe you just come here, and if you actually want to answer the question, so just stand along here, you can come here and answer it, and then we can hear you on the video. Yay, video people will like that. Okay, so questions, if you have one. Do you want to start? You got one about Salvation Army?
Yeah, so I just read the other day that it's been max capacity since the second day. So I guess my next question is, now that the dust is kind of settled, is it in fact a 30-day? And what's going to happen this winter when we have all the people coming in for shelter beds now that you're already full?
So right now, as it sits, it is still 30 days. It's 30 days with some sort of program, so people can get extended depending on where they're at in their program. So we do have legit homeless people that tend not to do much. They are out there, we have to work on their timetable. So yeah, they'll get a 30-day, they'll have to be out for 30 days, and then they could come back after those 30 days and redo it again. Some people take a long time. We've had elderly people that have been there longer than 30 days because their situation is different. Every person that comes in is a case-to-case basis. So for 30 days, yes. We've been constantly full. Now it fluctuates because we're 24 hours, people can come and go. So we can have someone there for 2 hours and he disappears for 22 hours and then comes back and goes to bed and has a 4-hour nap and then disappears again. But for winter time, as of right now, the possibility I believe is we will open up again for an extra mat program, but I'm not saying we are, I'm just saying that's what the rumor is. So we'll have the 60 beds plus the 20 plus possibly more. So
Have you heard of any other places opening this winter other than Wheaton Naomi's?
Wheaton Naomi's is usually the only one. I don't have that info if there is you do. So
Cyrus,
yeah. But are you just youth?
Yeah.
When you open up, it's just strictly
Per week or
youth? Yeah, so they'll have the youth extra beds for youth, and then adults, Ruth and Naomi's does, and so we, so.
So Ruth and Naomi's was open this summer, and quite full, most nights is what
Yeah.
I've heard. So I'm really concerned about the winter time, because they are full during the summer. It's not like we're gonna be opening more beds come winter time, even though they're still going out at 7 a.m. And I've talked to a lot of people about the winter, and last winter was really horrible downtown Gore. 7 a.m. out of Ruth and Naomi's right by our place, it was really bad, and I know they're working on a day center.
Yeah.
But just hopefully that we can work before the winter to have, we need a lot more beds, don't
And
we?
then the toughest part is that during the day. We really don't have a spot for them to go during the day. Like our shelter, yeah, it's 24 hours so they can stay there, but that's the people that are staying there. People just can't come off the street and just hang out in the shelter. So, and then usually our MAP programs are just overnight at this stage of the game, because unfortunately they use the facilities that we used during the day. So in that lunchroom, that's where it was last year. Most likely if we did it again this year, that's where it'd be. So that has to be cleaned up and set up for obviously the day-to-day business. So, yeah, so that is an issue, having
Well,
somewhere for them to
It
go.
was an issue last year.
Yeah.
And I'm really
Well, it's always an issue.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
that this winter, like now, really we can start as a community with Housing Hub, with Rain City coming, with Lookout Society coming, that this winter we can have something. Yes, it'll be temporary while we wait for those other services to come. So I hope that we can hear more in the near future from you guys.
That would be helpful.
We'll let you know as soon as we know. Yeah. Any other questions about anything that's been said or for these great people?
That was easy.
You answered all the questions, Scott. Yes.
This is a question for Kim and Alicia.
Kim and Alicia?
Alicia, yeah. I'm just curious. I'm curious for both of you, having worked for so many years, doing outreach and direct services. How you engage, like when you're feeling maybe some danger. Just sometimes when I'm looking to engage, it can be harder because I feel a little bit threatened from like males, maybe, I don't know, just addressing that when you're feeling that way, or how do you set up boundaries, I guess, when you're engaging with men, basically, and especially if they're under the influence and are maybe not entirely in control of their actions. If you could talk about that.
I can speak from my program. Working on a bus, for example, doing outreach services, has numerous challenges. I mean, obviously you're in a confined space and you're in people who are in psychosis. You are dealing with people who are very, very volatile. One of the most important things that I say for myself or any of my staff is that you have to be aware of your surroundings, period. That's in anything that we do, not just in outreach work. You've got to be aware and know what's around you, how to get out of a situation. Certain things can happen regardless of how careful you are to plan your route, to set up those boundaries, your physical boundary. Just before I was off sick for a little while, I was actually stabbed on the bus. And it wasn't a stab, that's incorrect, it was a slash. Rephrase that. It came completely out of the blue. I was prepared for what I thought was anything, and I wasn't. So I think that certainly as outreach workers, just keeping up to date on the trends on the street are very, very important. Now, particularly with the different types of psychosis we're seeing in Chilliwack, from the different drugs that are out there, people are far more violent, far more volatile, and quicker to blow up at you. So that would be my, my way of kind of handling that is just really keeping your boundary, your physical boundary, and your way to get out open just as any type of self-defense. MOAB training, Moab training is a wonderful course. I don't know if it's offered to the general public, but it's